Hey, if you're planning on moving to Roseville, I want to tell you about the top 5 neighborhoods in Roseville that you should consider. And one of them, I have a personal story that I'm going to tell you about, a little bit of background information that you can't really find online. Whether you're looking for close access to some of the top amenities, you're looking for the best rated schools, you're looking to be in the most affluent neighborhood, or you're just looking for a general all-around good quality neighborhood, this video is going to cover it. By the way, who the heck am I? If you're the first time visiting, I'm Geoff Goolsby. I'm a lifelong Roseville resident. People have called me Mr. Roseville, which is why that's the name of this channel. And I'm also a professional real estate agent here in town. So I happen to have a bunch of experience, not only just with living in this area, but also with being in a lot of the homes and helping clients to navigate through the process of buying and selling homes in Roseville. Anyhow, enough about me. Let's dive into the top 5 neighborhoods in Roseville in no particular order, but each one of them is top of its own category. It makes sense that we should start with one of my favorite neighborhoods, the one I'm most biased to, and that is because I've owned 3 homes in this one neighborhood and I absolutely love it here, and that is the Highland Reserve neighborhood. I would classify it as family-oriented and convenient. And I would even add extremely convenient onto that list. I personally enjoy just being very close to the mall. I like being close to the restaurants. In our case, we can walk down the bike trail and hit like Lazy Dog, Eureka, the pickleball courts, the Villa Sport, like everything is pretty close access. And when it comes to driving, it's easy. You get onto the freeway very easily, you get to all the shops very easily, and it's just a very convenient place to live. I'm involved in some of those family-friendly activities, not just with my family, but with the whole neighborhood. We do an annual Easter egg hunt, we do a pumpkin patch in the park in the fall, we do celebrations during 4th of July, and a little bit of sporadic stuff in between then in terms of community. When it comes to real estate, the average home value right now is about $685,000. Now the reason that's the average is because we go from about 1,200 square feet up to 4,000 square feet. For the most part, the average home, that $685,000 property, that's gonna be somewhere around the 2,200 square foot range, 4 bedroom, 3 bathroom. So we have an interesting demographic in this neighborhood, and it's made up of young families, starter homes, up to some pretty beautiful property on golf course lots, single family or large 2-story homes. Now on the low end, we're gonna be about $500,000 is basically the bare minimum that you should expect to pay for a home in this neighborhood, up to about $1.4 million. The last 12 months of sales was about 66 homes. Total number of homes in the neighborhood is 1,863 homes. Considering we have maybe close to, let's just call it 90 for easier math, that's about a 5% turnover, which is a pretty healthy number when you think about the number of people that are staying here versus leaving. If you're searching for an area, it might be good to search for a neighborhood that has like a 5% turnover rate because you know you'll have some options to choose from. Now when it comes to schools in the neighborhood, I would say the schools are good, not great. When I say we have good, not great, we're talking about Roseville High School has an A rating on niche.com. Boljon Middle School has a B rating on niche.com. By most standards, this is a great environment for families and a good school system to go to. There's really 2 major grocery stores that you can go to in this neighborhood. There's Safeway and then there's Whole Foods. Shopping galore surrounding this entire neighborhood. You have multiple different strip malls that you can go to, plus the big mall, Galleria Mall, Roseville, and then the fountains. And then in terms of connectivity and commute, I know that's a big one for most people. We're talking about like a 2-minute drive to get onto Highway 65 and either go south to hit 80 or north if you're heading up to Lincoln. You're really close to freeway access here. Accessibility, you're super close, right down the street from both of the major hospitals. The next neighborhood is the most affluent neighborhood, and similar to Highland Reserve, it's one of the most well-connected, meaning you can get to the hospital, you can get to the shopping, you can get to kind of all the things with a very short drive. And in a lot of cases, you can even walk there. In fact, this neighborhood is home to one of the best walking trails in the entire neighborhood, and this is the Stone Ridge neighborhood. Similar to Highland Reserve, I would give Stone Ridge a family-friendly and conveniently located sort of vibe. As of right now, the average sales price in that neighborhood was $922,000. Similar to Highland Reserve, there's about 1,800 homes in that neighborhood. And in the last 12 months, we had 76 homes sell. The median price for over the last 12 months is $836,000. The schools in this neighborhood are better than good. Niche.com gives Oakmont High School an A- rating. Warren T. Ike Middle School is a B+ rating. Stone Ridge Elementary is an A- rating on Niche.com. From my opinion, and being involved with the school district and getting to know some of the teachers and parents that have kids that go to all of these schools, you really have to take a lot of these ratings with a grain of salt. If you have a budget of somewhere around $600,000 to $700,000, $800,000, $900,000, almost no matter where you land in Roseville, you're going to land in a good school area. When I meet someone that says being outside is important to me, going out on walks, being in nature is important to me, but I still want to be kind of in the mix of all things, this is a neighborhood that comes to mind for me big time. The other reason I love this neighborhood is because the topography of the neighborhood is a bit different. Here, you may be able to get some view lot properties. For the most part, Roseville is pretty flat, but there are a couple of hills in the Stone Ridge neighborhood, and really they're the only hills that are in Roseville. So if you want something with a view, it's gonna be kind of rare, but you might be able to find yourself on a property that has like a little bit more of elevation. You can kind of see out onto, parts of the foothills or the valley. The only downside to this community is there's really not like a very close grocery store. And getting onto the freeway is simple as well. You can get onto Interstate 80 within about 2 miles of the neighborhood. The next one is highly regarded as the neighborhood with the best schools. This neighborhood is the Johnson Ranch neighborhood. If I had to summarize this neighborhood in terms of the vibe, I would say it's mature, it's got character, and it's well connected. And here's what I mean. The maturity. Most of the properties were built in the 1980s. In terms of being well connected, it's similar to the Stone Ridge community where you have a lot of amenities nearby. You're super close to one of the hospitals. Kaiser is very close to this neighborhood. You do also have some expansive walking trail systems that you can hop onto. One of the key ones is the big park. Maidu Park is close to the Johnson Ranch neighborhood. It's one of the largest, most well-preserved parks in Roseville. This neighborhood borders one of the wealthiest communities in Placer County, and that is Granite Bay. The properties have a larger footprint, and because of that, there are fewer homes in this neighborhood. There's about 1,500 homes in the Johnson Ranch. In the beginning, I mentioned that the homes built in Johnson Ranch went from 1980 to about 2020. Now, the reality is those new homes, I wouldn't even really classify them as like Johnson Ranch homes, but they do fit into that number of 1,573 homes. Of the 1,573 homes, the last 12 months, we saw 50 homes sell. Now, if what you're looking for is a home in the Johnson Ranch neighborhood, you just have to know that not as many homes are gonna hit the market. 1,500 homes, only about 49 listed for sale or sold in the last 12 months. So you have a lesser percentage of properties to look at. The schools are fantastic. I started this out saying it's well known for its great schools. We have Granite Bay High School, which is an A+ rating. We have Olympus Junior High, which is an A rating. We have Maidu Elementary, which is an A rating. But in terms of like nearby businesses and accessibility, you're close access to Kaiser Permanente Hospital. You're bordering Douglas Boulevard, which has a bunch of shopping centers. You've got big box stores like Target. You've got plenty of restaurants that you can choose from. They've got 25 tennis courts at the Johnson Ranch Sports Club. In addition to that, a hot topic right now is pickleball. They have 28 pickleball courts. They also have 2 weightlifting centers and they have multiple pools. So if you're looking for an all-around club experience, Johnson Ranch Sports Club is a good option, and it's right there within your neighborhood. I just realized I forgot to talk about real estate, kind of the most important thing for me, in my opinion. You probably want to know, what do homes cost here? So the average price of homes is $880,000 in Johnson Ranch. And again, one of the features of this neighborhood that I really like, especially from a real estate perspective, is the character of homes. You don't have cookie cutter track home feel. You have mature landscaping, big trees, open streets. It feels like you've gone back in time. You're surrounded by all these beautiful trees, craftsman style homes, and you have the benefit of great schools and a connected community. Now on the other side of town, you have one of the newest communities in Roseville. In fact, it's still growing. At the time of making this video, there's about 2,700 homes in this neighborhood. That number is growing. They are building brand new construction homes here. These homes range from being built in like 2008 on the earliest up to right now, 2024 at the time of making this video. So I am talking about the safest neighborhood in Roseville. The neighborhood I'm talking about has been labeled, not by me, by whatismycrimerisk.com, one of the safest neighborhoods in Roseville. From my experience as a lifelong Roseville resident, I've experienced every neighborhood in this area. And I would argue that pretty much every neighborhood feels safe. Even the quote, worst neighborhood in Roseville doesn't really feel all that unsafe. People love Fitment Farm though, beyond just the safety. It's the newness. You can buy a brand new home. They are still building homes out there. You want a brand new home, you can go and pick out your home and have it built. If you just want a newer home in a family-friendly, safe community, Fitment Farm is a great option. There's less amenities nearby. There are some things coming to the area. It's growing a little bit, but there's only so much they can do by way of commercial development. A lot of it is residential. When it comes to real estate, the average value as of right now is around $793,000 for a home. Now, there are 2,700 homes as of the time of making this video. Those homes range drastically in size as well. They go from 1,400 square foot single stories up to 4,000 square foot two-story homes. In the last 12 months, out of the 2,700 homes that exist, about 190 homes have sold. That's a pretty good number. We're talking about 7% turnover, which means 7% of the homes that exist become available each year. So if you're looking for a home and this is the type of neighborhood that you want to be in, the good news is you should have a good amount of options to choose from. There's parts of the neighborhood that will go to Roseville High School, small section, and then there are parts that will go to the brand new West Park High School. Both of those, like I mentioned, Roseville has an A rating on niche.com. West Park is a brand new high school, A- rating. It's a top rated school. It's a beautiful campus. It looks like a college. It's just a really impressive space. If I had to put a label on this neighborhood, I'd call it a classic neighborhood that's close enough to modern conveniences. You don't have as much of the amenities that like the Highland Reserve neighborhood or the Stone Ridge or the Johnson Ranch area have, but you do still have access, reasonable access to like shopping, strip malls. It doesn't take that long to get over to the mall from this neighborhood. It doesn't take that long to get to the hospitals. We're talking about maybe like a 10-minute drive. You still kind of get the best of both worlds. You have a nice neighborhood, you have nice school, you have easy access to some of the things you want to get to, and the best overall thing is you have a really good price. Of the 1,700 homes that exist in the neighborhood, about 55 or 60 sell each year. So you don't have a ton of turnover, which could be a good sign that people really like it there. Also could be a sign of some original owners still being there even after purchasing in the 90s. It also means that there's not going to be a ton of options to choose from in any given year. You only have about 55, 60, maybe 75 on a big year of sales in that neighborhood. Anyway, Foothill Junction, my vote for best overall value in terms of a little bit of all of the things you want in a community. Hey, that was my deep dive on the top 5 neighborhoods of Roseville. There's a lot more. There's 34 neighborhoods in Roseville, and just because it didn't make my list doesn't mean it's not the right neighborhood for you. I've done a video on what to consider before moving to Roseville, and one of the things I mentioned is taking the time to tour the neighborhoods before you make the move here. You could download our Roseville guide if you want to learn more about some of the neighborhoods, or reach out to me directly to have a conversation about what neighborhood might be the right one for you. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure to check out some of our other videos. And if you want to watch more videos about Roseville, make sure to subscribe to the channel.